Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. This is Jim Ross here with my broadcast partner, Jerry the King Lawler. And King, what a way to start things off. A non-title match between Shelton Benjamin and the WWE Champion.
I'm sure Shelton wishes this could be for the title, but it sounds like John Cena is a shoo-in for number one contender.
That may be the case, but in my view, this is still a huge opportunity for Shelton Benjamin. He's in the ring with the WWE Champion, and I'm sure he'll make the most of it. What an asset this man has been to Raw as our WWE Champion.
Yeah, but can you imagine how much better Raw would be with John Cena as champion, JR? You heard about Stephanie McMahon's market research. He's got the highest S rating on Raw, and that's saying something. What do you think your S rating would be, JR? I know mine must be pretty high up there.
King, you don't need S ratings or market research to know that Cena's a deserving WWE champion. He's been a WWE champion in the past, and he could be again given the opportunity.
And it sounds as if he's going to get that opportunity at WrestleMania.
Boy, I'll tell you, I've been looking forward to this match all night, King. A WrestleMania sneak preview, pitting the WWE Champion against his challenger, John Cena. This should be a very revealing look into how these two men will match up against each other in just a few weeks when they compete for the WWE title.
And speaking of revealing, take a look at Tori Wilson. As much as I was looking forward to seeing the champion and the challenger lock up, I'm not sure I'll be able to tear my eyes off her.
That's odd. Traditionally, it's the WWE Champion who enters last, out of respect for the title. But tonight, it seems that John Cena is receiving that honor.
Oh, there you go again with your conspiracy theories, JR. Next thing you know, you're going to start accusing Cena of getting special treatment, just like that crybaby Shawn Michaels has been doing.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything, King. I was just making an observation. I'm sure everyone in this arena can draw their own conclusions. Still, it surely is a little odd. In the eyes of many, including his own, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels is the rightful number one contender for the WWE title. But that honor has fallen to the man Michaels beat 2 weeks ago, John Cena.
Well, of course Shawn Michaels thinks he should be the number one contender, JR. He's completely in love with himself. He needs to get it through his thick head that John Cena's just plain better for business. And like Stephanie McMahon said, what's good for business is good for all of us.
And would you look at this? For the second time in as many weeks, the WWE Champion is not the last man being introduced in the match. The champion, or in this case, the champion and his teammates, should traditionally make their entrance last. When it happened last week, I thought it might be an oversight. But 2 weeks in a row? That smells fishy to me.
Stop trying to stir up trouble, JR. I'm beginning to think you've got a bad attitude when it comes to John Cena. What does it matter which order the superstars come out in? You're making mountains out of molehills.
I think it's fair to say that things have gotten personal between the WWE Champion and his number one contender, John Cena.
If you ask me, I think the champ might be just afraid of Cena. Why else would he do something like ambush him in the parking lot just now?
That could be the case, King, but it seems more likely that it may have to do with the overly familiar way Cena handled Tori Wilson and the WWE title last week. 24 hours ago, this man was on top of the world. He was the number one contender. He had a match for the WWE title next week. He was all but guaranteed a main event spot at WrestleMania.
And now look at him. He's right back down at the bottom of the heap. That's what playing with a woman's emotions will get you.
What in the hell are you talking about?
Oh, come on, JR. You saw Stephanie's reaction to Cena and Tori. I think she had a crush on John Cena, and now he's gone from the penthouse to the doghouse.
Well, far be it from me to second-guess the motives of a McMahon, King. I've learned that lesson the hard way. The Heartbreak Kid has finally earned the number one contender spot he and many others feel he's long deserved. And I have to wonder how he feels about not being able to do it in the ring the way he wanted to all along.
Well, that's Shawn Michaels for you, the hypocrite kid. He'll take any shortcut to get what he wants.
How could you say that, King? Michaels beat John Cena in a one-on-one match a few weeks ago, if you'll recall. I don't think you'll find many who would question Cena's number one contender credentials. I can't imagine what must be going through the champion's mind, knowing that he's about to step into the ring against the very man he'll be facing next week for the WWE title. I know this is a triple threat match, but his primary focus has got to be on HBK right now.
Oh, I think you're wrong there, JR. He just saw his girlfriend, Tori Wilson, fooling around with John Cena. The WWE title's important, but I'm not sure it's even on his mind right now. I'm telling you, he's definitely going to go right after Cena.
Here we go. This is it, folks. The WWE title is on the line, and the showstopper, Shawn Michaels, is always at his best in high-pressure situations just like this one.
He certainly does. Shawn Michaels has won the gold many times, and I have to admit, I wouldn't be surprised if he left here tonight with it around his waist one more time.
King, I have to wonder if the champion is mentally and physically prepared for this match. Remember, all of his preparations were made with the expectation he'd be facing John Cena. Shawn Michaels is effectively a last-minute substitution.
Come on, JR. The champ got to face HBK along with Cena last week in a triple threat match, and this matchup was just as much a surprise for Michaels as it was for the champ. If he loses the title, he's got no one to blame but himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have just seen one of the greatest Raw main events of all time. The champion has retained his WWE title against a true legend, Shawn Michaels.
You're not kidding, JR. That was a pay-per-view quality match right there. I'll tell you, I got to take my crown off to both of these guys.
We've seen one half of Raw's WrestleMania main event take shape. But who will face the champion for the title in the granddaddy of them all?
Oh, don't worry about WrestleMania, JR. Remember, we've got Stephanie McMahon and all of her market research to guide us. I'm sure she won't let that go to waste. Some way, somehow, she'll find a way to do what's best for business. And remember, what's good for business is good for all of us.
Shawn Michaels is once again the WWE champion. He said all along that market research and S ratings be damned. He deserves to be the number one contender, and you're looking at him now with a title in hand. You can't argue his point.
I hate to admit that HBK was right about anything, JR, but he is going to WrestleMania. Too bad for our former champion. If he wants to go to the biggest sports entertainment event of the year, it looks like he's going to have to buy a ticket to get in.
Shawn Michaels is in a unique position here, to say the least. John Cena is facing the WWE champion for the right to a title match at WrestleMania, with Michaels as the special referee. But if Cena loses, Michaels gets the title match.
This smells like a setup to me, JR. Shawn Michaels has this nice guy act down pat, but come on. Everyone knows he's going to be using this situation to his advantage, and that's exactly what Stephanie McMahon is hoping for.
If John Cena wins this non-title match, he gets a WWE title match at WrestleMania. But if he loses, the special referee in this very match, Shawn Michaels, goes on to the big dance.
I don't know how Cena thinks he's going to get out of this one, JR. HBK says he's going to call this right down the middle, but Cena can't take that risk. He's got to do whatever he can to make sure that this match isn't decided by the referee.
Well, despite whatever the true intentions of Shawn Michaels may be, King, I have to agree with you that it would certainly be in John Cena's best interest to pick up a decisive win early here tonight. I cannot believe that this man still plans to face Chavo Guerrero just moments after getting ambushed by John Cena like that.
Well, he was hit in the head, so he's probably not thinking straight. Why else would he get in the ring now in his condition with his title defense at WrestleMania less than 2 weeks away?
We've seen a new John Cena lately, one who has been absolutely ruthless in his pursuit of the WWE title. Last week, he assaulted and injured the champion with a steel chain. And were it not for the help of Shelton Benjamin, he might have seriously injured the WWE champion right before WrestleMania.
And don't forget 2 weeks ago, Cena injured Shawn Michaels with a steel chair to the head because HBK couldn't mind his own business. Cena meant to take out the champ there, too.
Cena claims he has taken it back to the streets, if you will, and that change of attitude has made him the most dangerous superstar on Raw.
And I know that sort of thing makes you squeamish, JR, but Cena's doing exactly what he needs to do to win that WWE title. If he can't bring the champ to the streets, he'll bring the streets to the champ.
I'd be very, very careful tonight if I were this man. John Cena will stop at nothing inside the ring or anywhere else to win the WWE title. For 2 weeks running now, Cena has made every attempt to destroy the champion, and there's absolutely no reason to think he won't try it again tonight.
Well, that's just something you have to deal with as WWE Champion, JR. That gold belt might as well be a target, because when you're wearing it, everyone comes gunning for you. And let's face it, like it or not, a lot of guys don't let little things like rules or decency stand in the way.
We've seen a new John Cena lately, one who has been absolutely ruthless in his pursuit of the WWE title. Last week, he assaulted and injured the champion with a steel chain. And were it not for the help of Shelton Benjamin, he might have seriously injured the WWE champion right before WrestleMania.
And don't forget 2 weeks ago, Cena injured Shawn Michaels with a steel chair to the head because HBK couldn't mind his own business. Cena meant to take the champ out there, too.
Cena claims he has taken it back to the streets, if you will. And that change of attitude has made him one of the most dangerous superstars on Raw.
And I know this sort of thing makes you squeamish, JR, but Cena's doing exactly what he needs to do to win the WWE title. If he can't bring the champ to the streets, he'll bring the streets to the champ.
I'd be very, very careful tonight if I were this man. John Cena will stop at nothing inside the ring or anywhere else to win the WWE title. For 2 weeks running now, Cena has made every attempt to destroy the champion, and there's absolutely no reason to think he won't try again tonight.
Well, that's just something you got to deal with as the WWE champion, JR. That gold belt might as well be a target, because when you're wearing it, everyone comes gunning for you. And let's face it, like it or not, a lot of guys don't let little things like rules or decency stand in the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The main event of WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. The WWE title is on the line, and it doesn't get any bigger than this.
And they don't get any better than John Cena. I know people have given Cena a lot of grief for the way he's changed his attitude over the last month or so, but you can't argue with the results. He went from being a regular guy everyone liked all the way to a title match at WrestleMania. And tonight, he's going to become the WWE champion. I just know it.
I think you might be making a mistake writing off the WWE champion like that, King. But any way you slice it, this is going to be one hell of a match. There's not a doubt in my mind that this man has proven himself to be the absolute best in the business. And tonight is his chance to silence his critics once and for all. This is a last man standing match for the WWE title. The rules are simple. There are no rules. The first man who is not able to stand up before a 10 count loses the match.
And Stephanie McMahon has banned all interference from the match, so the champ's not going to be able to count on his buddy Shawn Michaels to save the day this time.
I don't think the champ needs HBK's help, King. Not when John Cena has to meet him face to face instead of hitting him from behind for a change. My God, he did it! The champion retained! The champion retained! John Cena gave him absolutely everything he had, and it still wasn't enough.
I've got to admit it, I'm impressed. I thought he was a goner for sure, especially after all the things Cena had done to him over the past few weeks. But he's going home the WWE champion, and Cena is just going, well, I guess he's going back to the streets.
That may be true, King, but what a match we've seen here tonight. And think about it. After 2 months filled with controversy, chaos, and camaraderie involving the WWE title, the champion has risen above it all, right here in the showcase of the Immortals, and he remains Raw's undisputed WWE champion. No, Not like this! Not like this! You can't tell me that all of Cena's reprehensible behavior is going to be rewarded with a WWE title victory at WrestleMania. I know I'm supposed to be completely objective here, but it's not right, damn it. It's just not right at all.
Well, right or not, that's exactly what happened here tonight, JR. You might not be a fan of his tactics, but I told you Cena was going to win. He's been so focused, so intense, that there was no way the champ, or should I say ex-champ, was going to be able to beat him. So let's hear you say it. WWE Champion John Cena.
You said it just fine yourself, King. I think I'll pass. And yes, Raw has a new champion. But is this the best we can do? A champion who resorts to cowardly, thuggish behavior in order to achieve his goals? That's not the kind of champion I can be proud of, King, and I'm damn sure not alone in that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. This is Tim Ross here at ringside with Jerry the King Lawler. We're just 1 month away from WrestleMania, and here's the man who'll be going to the granddaddy of them all as the #1 contender for Triple H's WWE title.
And what a match that's going to be, JR. But WrestleMania is still 4 weeks away. And if I were him, I'd stay focused on his match right here tonight.
That's some good advice, King. If the challenger isn't fully prepared to meet the monster he's getting in the ring with here tonight, he might not make it to WrestleMania. He spent the last couple of weeks stirring the pot on SmackDown at the behest of WWE Champion Triple H. But it seems to me that the shoe's on the other foot tonight.
This is great. He's going to have a chance to embarrass not one, but two of SmackDown's top superstars right here tonight on Raw.
There's no question why they call this man the Cerebral Assassin. He's had the #1 contender for his own title doing his dirty work for him for weeks now.
You're only telling half the story, JR. Triple H offered him some pretty nice perks for doing those favors. And when you're facing the game for the title at WrestleMania, you got to take every advantage you can get.
It's been a while since we've seen SmackDown's Randy Orton on Raw, King. It looks to me that the Legend Killer is ready and spoiling for a fight.
Yeah, but he's getting into the ring with a man with whom he shares a lot of history and one historic grudge, Triple H.
Good Lord! It's been so long since I've seen Batista up close and in person that I forgot what a physical specimen he is. I think he's only gotten more impressive, and that's saying something.
He may be an animal, but don't forget, Triple H taught Batista everything Batista knows. Unfortunately for Batista, Triple H didn't teach him everything Triple H knows.
It comes only once a year, the showcase of the Immortals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event of WrestleMania. I'm ready. The King is ready. And despite the events that transpired last week, you better believe that this superstar is ready for the fight of his life.
You know, JR, after what Triple H did to him with that sledgehammer on Monday, I can't believe he's even standing, let alone walking down the ramp for a title match at WrestleMania.
That's the fighting heart of a champion, King. You can't pass up an opportunity like this one. And I have to believe he's got some payback in mind for Triple H. The Cerebral Assassin's going to WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. But will he leave here tonight with his title? We've seen his maneuvering over the past few weeks in anticipation of this match. But you have to wonder if Triple H has lit a fire under his opponent that started to burn out of the game's control.
You're kidding, right? My money's on Triple H. I mean, let's face it. He suckered his opponent into running himself ragged doing his dirty work all month.
I hate to agree with that, King, but you might be right. Triple H knows he's injured, and now he's easy pickings for the game.
Well, he gave it everything he had, but in the end, he just got outplayed by the game. There's no shame in that.
I guess that depends on your outlook, King. Triple H is a formidable champion without question, but I have to say, his methods are clearly controversial at best, and his attitude certainly leaves something to be desired, if you ask me. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Jerry the King Lawler, and myself, Welcome to Monday Night Raw. And King, I have to ask you, have you ever seen Edge as focused as he has been the past few weeks?
Absolutely not, JR. I've never seen a superstar rise through the ranks as fast or as ruthlessly as Edge. And ever since Mr. McMahon personally named him the #1 contender, he's been like a man possessed.
Possessed by an insatiable desire to hold the WWE title, that is. And I think that tonight, Edge is going to show the WWE champion exactly what he's got to look forward to at Backlash, and it won't be pretty. I have all the respect in the world for Edge's experience and in-ring ability, but if I had to choose a superstar to represent Raw as our WWE champion, I've got to say that my choice would be this man right here.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts, JR, because I have a funny feeling that title's going to be back around the waist of Edge come Backlash.
I wouldn't bet my Oklahoma farm on that, King. Let's see how the two of them match up here tonight in this non-title match before we start making any predictions. Could this be what we'll see at Backlash when these two superstars meet again for the WWE title?
You never can tell, JR. I think both of them learned a lot about each other in this match. Next time they get in the ring together, you can bet they're both going to have a few new tricks.
Here we go. The 6-man battle royal to determine the #1 contender for the WWE title at Backlash. And here comes, well, an interesting choice for a #1 contender match.
Boy, Triple H wasn't kidding when he promised us an exhaustive search. The closest this guy's gotten to the WWE title was standing behind the champion in the buffet line.
And here's another unique entry for a battle royal that's supposed to help determine the #1 contender for the WWE title.
Well, that's Triple H for you. He's approaching this general manager position with a fresh perspective and giving every Raw superstar a chance to earn their spot.
No offense to these superstars, but I don't think they exactly fit my view of who I would consider to be current WWE title contenders. I'm starting to question our new general manager's intentions.
Oh, JR, why do you always have to be so cynical? I'm sure Triple H has got a very good reason for choosing the superstars he's chosen, though I can't quite see what it is exactly.
Come on now, this is just absurd. I know there isn't a bad superstar on the entire Raw roster, but these guys are obviously not quite ready for prime time.
Boy, I'll bet these guys are glad you're not the general manager, JR. They're getting the opportunity of a lifetime, and you're raining all over their parade.
That does it. Now I've seen everything. Triple H is obviously up to something here, but I'll be damned if I can figure out what it is.
Calm down, JR. I'm sure Triple H has a plan. He wouldn't be our new general manager if he didn't know what he was doing.
I'm sure Triple H knows exactly what he's doing. He isn't stupid. But I have no earthly idea what he's trying to do here. Finally, a superstar who truly deserves the opportunity to main event a pay-per-view. If I had to put money on anyone in this match, I'd have to put it on him.
Yeah, but don't underestimate his opponents. Every one of those guys wants to be the one who eliminates the WWE champion.
That's true, King. And no matter who you are, 5-on-1 odds are 5-on-1 odds.
Look, JR, I'm an Edge head, and I know that Mr. McMahon named Edge the #1 contender, but if our general manager Triple H says that the rated R superstar isn't ready, then he's obviously not ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that Edge has been suspended indefinitely for physically threatening the interim GM of Raw, Triple H.
We just saw it right there, JR. Edge chased Triple H right up the ramp. And who knows what happened backstage. Obviously, he tried to give Triple H a piece of his mind.
And I don't think that there's any way that you can claim that Triple H didn't try to provoke that very reaction in Edge. It's no secret that the R-rated superstar has a short fuse, and the game lit a hell of a fire directly under it. I don't know what Triple H has against Edge, but it's a sickening abuse of power in my view. This is it, the main event of Backlash, and here's the #1 contender who just so happens to moonlight as Raw's interim general manager. You'd think his last name was Gagne. It's disgusting that Triple H would abuse his power like this. But given his track record, I shouldn't be surprised.
Look, JR, who made Triple H general manager in the first place? Mr. McMahon. Who built the WWE into the empire it is today? Mr. McMahon. And who signs your paychecks?
Mr. McMahon, unfortunately.
Right. So if Mr. McMahon puts his trust in Triple H as general manager, then you should too. You're lucky that he's on vacation right now and not backstage listening to all your negativity. There's only so many times you could be fired and come back, you know.
I call them like I see them, King. And if Mr. McMahon has a problem with that, he knows where to find me. Can you imagine preparing for a WWE title match when you don't even know who your opponent's going to be? Triple H has had weeks to scout the champion, but the WWE champion didn't even consider Triple H as a contender until last Monday.
It might not be the ideal situation for going into a title match, but that comes with being the WWE champion. You got to be ready for anything. And if you're not, you won't be holding the title for long.
Can you believe it? He did it! Despite all of Triple H's scheming, the champion has retained the WWE title. And he beat both the number one contender and the interim GM to do it.
Well, obviously Triple H has been so busy with all his general manager duties that he's gotten a little rusty in the ring. Believe me, I don't think we'd get the same results in a rematch.
And I have no doubt that we'll get to test your theory, King. If I know Triple H, he'll find a way to give himself that rematch. But for tonight, here at Backlash, the WWE champion has beaten the odds and lives to fight another day. Well, there you have it. Triple H has stolen another WWE title reign here tonight at Backlash, and it makes me sick.
Wait, what do you mean stole, JR? That sure looked like a clean victory to me.
You know what I mean, King. He abused his position as general manager to put himself into this title match, which the champion had almost no time to prepare for.
Well, you and the ex-champion can cry over all the spilt milk you want, but Triple H has proven once again that he's the greatest superstar in all of sports entertainment. Heck, he should give himself a raise after that performance.
Boomer Sooner for another outstanding performance by the WWE champion heading into Vengeance. No matter the odds, he just keeps on rolling. And now that we know who his opponent will be, there's just one question left to answer.
That's right. He gets to choose what type of title match he'll have this Sunday. I have to admit, things are certainly looking good for the champ.
Another outstanding match here on Raw. And now the winner is on his way to the main event of Vengeance to face the WWE champion for the title.
That's right. And he also gets to choose exactly what type of title match he wants. Things are looking good for the number one contender. The champ is going to have his work cut out for him this Sunday at Vengeance.
Here we go. The main event at Vengeance. The WWE title is on the line, and here comes the challenger, a man who has made it abundantly clear that he will stop at nothing to wear the title around his waist.
And I know you turn your nose up at that, JR, but I can tell you from experience that if you really want to be a champion, you can't let anything in the world come between you and the title.
Well, despite my distaste for his methods, I have to admit that there's no doubt in my mind that this man has proven time and again that he is championship material. And here he is, the WWE champion. For the past 2 months, he's endured Triple H's general mismanagement. He suffered Edge's taunts and sneak attacks. And it all comes down to this moment here tonight.
And he'd better be ready for just about anything, because he's getting into the ring against one of the most dangerous superstars in the world. This could be the last time we see him with the WWE title.
We'll find out soon enough, King, as we get ready for these two to lock up in our main event. He did it! The WWE champion has retained the title here at Vengeance in one of the most grueling matches it has ever been my privilege to witness.
They took each other to hell and back, and you got to give it up for the champion. He gave as good as he got.
I'd say he gave better than he got, King. Only one man is leaving with the WWE title, and it's the man who came in wearing it. What a crushing blow for the WWE Champion to come all this way only to lose the title here tonight at Vengeance.
You mean ex-champion? I knew he didn't have what it took to hold on to that title. He gave everything he had in that ring, and he still came up short.
I couldn't disagree more, King. I think he was a great champion, but it just wasn't his night. Yes, his championship reign may be over, but I'd have to think he'll be back in the title mix sooner than later.
You think he's going to be able to get along with Shelton Benjamin tonight? Those two might wind up having to face each other in this tournament, and that's got to be on their minds.
I'm sure they'll get along just fine, King. There's a great deal of professional respect between these two superstars, and they should make a heck of a team here tonight.
Well, he talked a lot of trash to Kurt Angle last week, and now it's time to put up or shut up in his first tournament match.
I think he's more than capable of backing it up, King. And he'd better, because his title match at Vengeance depends upon him picking up the win tonight.
And here he is, the man who beat Shelton Benjamin and eliminated him from the #1 contender tournament last week.
Which one of these two smug sons of bitches are you talking about, King? Chris Masters or Kurt Angle?
Hey now, you better watch it, JR. Those are the present and future WWE champions you're talking about. Hey, what's Shelton Benjamin doing coming out here? He's not involved in this match.
Are you saying it's okay for Angle to come out with Masters, but it's not okay for Shelton to back up his friend, King?
Angle is Masters' mentor. He's like a coach. Shelton's no coach. He's just a loser with a grudge.
Boy, that sounds like another coach we know, doesn't it? You know, until last week, I'd always thought highly of Shelton Benjamin, but now I have to question his common sense and, yes, his integrity, since we found out that he's been working with Kurt Angle all along.
Integrity might be one of Kurt Angle's 3 eyes, JR, but so is intelligence. And Shelton knows it's better to have Angle with you than against you, which is something Angle's opponent is going to find out this Sunday at Vengeance. I think he's making a big mistake facing Shelton Benjamin in this no disqualification match less than a week before he faces Angle for the WWE title.
I have to agree. It seems like a questionable move at best, but this is personal now. He's not about to let Benjamin get away with what he did last week, and he's damn sure not going to let Kurt Angle get away with it either. Here we go. The WWE title is on the line here at Vengeance, and we might be looking at our new WWE Champion, King.
Now hold your horses, JR. He's got to get through Kurt Angle first, and he wouldn't be the first superstar who's tried and failed. There he is, the WWE Champion, Kurt Angle. But wait a second. Where's Shelton Benjamin?
Benjamin's got no business being out here, King, and you know it. This concerns the champion and the challenger, and that's it. And from the looks of things, that's exactly what we're going to get. Welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw. I'm Jim Ross, alongside Jerry the King Lawler at ringside. And King, what a way to start out our show.
You're not kidding, JR. When Raw starts off with our WWE Champion headed to the ring, you know you've got one heck of a night ahead of you. Of course, considering who the champ is, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that he's too much of a coward to actually put the title on the line tonight.
This might be a non-title match, King, but we've just been informed that the champion will be defending the title next week against an opponent to be named later tonight. This is a huge opportunity for Chris Masters, a ladder match for the WWE title, and I see that he's bringing some insurance with him to the ring.
Who? Trish Stratus? Come on. Trish is a gentle flower. She wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm sure she just wants a great view. And now that she's out here, I've got one too.
Trish Stratus is the women's champion, King, and we both know she's more than capable in the ring. I just hope that her only involvement in tonight's title match is to offer moral support. Here he comes, the WWE Champion. He's got the title belt around his waist as he walks down that aisle, but it won't be long before it's raised 15 feet in the air above the ring.
This doesn't happen often, but I've got to agree with you, JR. It's probably the last time we're going to see him with the WWE title.
I didn't say that, King, and don't you go putting words into my mouth. I'm supposed to be impartial, as are you, I might add, But if it came down to it, I admit that I'd prefer to have him as Raw's champion rather than that cocky Chris Masters. And here comes Chris Masters, and what the hell is Trish Stratus doing with the WWE title?
Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, JR. Chris Masters won it last week on Raw, remember? You saw it with your own two eyes.
That might be your view, King, but as I understand it, we still don't have a WWE champion. And until we do, I think Trish Stratus and Chris Masters are the last people who should be holding on to the title.
Poor Trish. I'm glad her pretty little ears can't hear you, JR. I don't think she'd appreciate your conspiracy theories. And by the way, I think you'd better get used to referring to him as WWE Champion Chris Masters. Thank you very much.
Boy, the champ looks focused. I'd hate to be Chris Masters in this match.
Wait, didn't you just say that we didn't have a champion, JR? Isn't that a little hypocritical of you to refer to him as the champ?
Well, he's still the champion in my mind, King, and in the minds of a lot of other people, too. And I have a feeling that once the board of directors finish up their investigation, they'll come to the same conclusion. We might have just gotten a glimpse of the SummerSlam WWE title match this Sunday, King. All three contenders look pretty good out there tonight.
It hardly seems fair, though, that poor Trish has to compete against two WWE superstars, forcing her to face Chris Masters, the superstar she manages, and the rightful WWE champion. It's just wrong.
I don't think Trish has any intention of competing against Masters, King. This seems more like a handicap match than a triple threat to me. But regardless, the WWE title situation will be decided this Sunday live on pay-per-view. I can't wait. I've got to tell you, the board of directors can usually be counted on to be a voice of reason in the WWE. But it seems like they've answered a controversial problem with an equally controversial solution.
Will you stop being so sexist? Why can't you just admit that it's okay for a woman to be involved in a WWE title match? This isn't the 1950s, JR.
That's completely beside the point, King, and you know it. The board has made a triple threat match that essentially is going to be a handicap match. I don't even think Trish Stratus can legally be a WWE champion. She's not even in the division. And under these 2-on-1 circumstances, I have a hard time picturing the masterpiece Chris Masters walking out of SummerSlam without the WWE Championship. I can't remember the last time I've seen a man have to fight so hard to win back something that he never rightfully lost.
Come on, admit it. Don't you get tired of all his moaning and complaining about being screwed out of the WWE title?
Actually, I've been extremely impressed with how he's managed to restrain himself thus far, King. I can only imagine that he's saving it all for the ring. You know, I've never been Chris Masters' biggest fan, but I've got to say he's gotten a heck of a raw deal lately. Trish turned on him in an insane plan to win the WWE title for herself, and now he finds himself out of contention for the title.
You're right, and the masterpiece is going to have some aggression to work out here tonight. I'd hate to be either of his opponents in this triple threat.
This man lost his WWE Championship in what can only be called a swirl of controversy, and I have to believe that he will be the popular choice to win it back at Unforgiven.
Come on, JR. Stop playing favorites. He'll get the title back at Unforgiven if he can beat whoever Trish chooses as his opponent.
And speaking of Trish's mystery contender, I think it's just about time for us to find out who it is. I don't believe it. It's The Big Show. The Big Show is Trish Stratus' choice to compete for the WWE title at Unforgiven.
I guess size matters to Trish. Well, you gotta like Show's chances at Unforgiven. And his two opponents definitely have their work cut out for him tonight, too.
Here comes the once and future champion for a tune-up match against Snitsky before the big title match a week from Sunday at Unforgiven.
And you're not kidding when you say that it's going to be a big match. Everything's bigger when Big Show gets involved.
And by no means should we discount the sheer size and mass of Snitsky. He's not exactly a small man himself, and this singles match should provide a very interesting preview of Unforgiven. He's come so far. He's been screwed over seemingly at every opportunity, but you've got to believe that it hasn't been all for nothing. You've got to believe that he's going to go all the way here tonight at Unforgiven and win back the WWE title.
Believe that if you want, JR, but my money's on the Big Show. I mean, look at this guy. No disrespect intended to the former WWE champion, but you just don't bet against 7 feet tall and 500 pounds. Here comes that idiot Big Show.
Idiot? You just said you'd put your money on him to win the WWE title tonight.
And I think he will, JR, but he's still an idiot. Tell me something. If you had Trish Stratus begging to come down to the ring with you and stand by your side, would you tell her no?
Well, King, I
rest my case. And you know what? I'm glad he did. Now you can stop going on about how he got cheated out of it in the first place.
This is a great victory. Nothing against the Big Show, of course, but it just goes to prove that there's nothing that can keep a true champion from the WWE title.
This must be so painful for poor Trish. I'd better go backstage and see if she needs some consoling.
And there you have it, folks. The Big Show is the new WWE champion. And although in some circles it will be felt that justice has not been served tonight, the Big Show earned his new title fair and square.
I told you, you better not ever bet against the Big Show. I'm only surprised the match went as long as it did.
Well, speaking for myself, I can't say this result sits right. Still, I'm guessing that the former champ, although not victorious here at Unforgiven, will be back in the title picture sooner than later.
This must be so painful for poor Trish. I'd better go backstage and see if she needs some consoling.
New champion! We've got a new champion! Against incredible odds, he's emerged from the Elimination Chamber with his arm raised in victory and the WWE Championship around his waist.
Incredible is right. It's incredible that any of these superstars can even stand up after a match like that. And what a performance by the new champion. 6 men entered, but only 1 could leave. What a match. I can hardly believe what I just saw, JR.
Boy, if that isn't the truth. A match like that one is the stuff of legends, and we saw a legendary performance from the winner here tonight. He did it! Cena did it! Against nearly insurmountable odds, he's emerged from the Elimination Chamber with his arm raised in victory and his WWE Championship intact.
I can't believe it! Not even the Elimination Chamber could separate Cena from his title. I may not be his biggest fan, but you've got to give credit where credit is due. And Cena definitely just showed us something special.
Boy, if that isn't the truth. A match like that one is the stuff of legends. And we saw a legendary performance from the winner here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raw. And folks, we've got a special treat for you tonight. 2 Smackdown versus Raw singles encounters right here, back to back. With little time to rest between the 2 matches, this is going to be a real war of attrition between these superstars. King, you know, I'm a Raw man through and through, but I can certainly understand why SmackDown might be upset at Edge and Masters.
Oh, please. All Edge and the Masterpiece did was go to SmackDown and tell the truth about their WrestleMania main event.
Come on now. You know as well as I do that if SmackDown pulled a stunt like that here on Raw, we'd be up in arms about it. I just hope these 2 haven't bitten off more than they can chew. And here they come, the World Heavyweight Champion and his WrestleMania challenger.
What a couple of jokers. Maybe Edge and the Masterpiece are right. If that's the best SmackDown can do, it's no wonder Raw is still the #1 show here in the WWE.
I wouldn't be so sure, King. Batista's about as good as they get, and his challenger's no slouch either. The bottom line is, Raw can't get complacent when SmackDown's got guys like these 2. And here we go with the second leg of our back-to-back cross-brand singles matches this evening. King, you gotta wonder how much Edge and Masters have left in their tank.
That last match took its toll on everybody, that's for sure. And with no time to rest up, they're going to be feeling it in this one.
Well, it's his turn to represent SmackDown, and he's got the World Heavyweight Champion Batista as his backup.
Yeah, and what's the deal with that? Aren't these 2 supposed to be facing each other for the title at WrestleMania in a couple weeks? Are they really working together here?
It's all about brand loyalty and professional respect, King. And regardless of the brand these superstars represent, you've got to admire their attitude and their united front here tonight. And that's all she wrote. But does this mark the end of the cross-brand warfare, or will we see more of the same along the road to WrestleMania?
That's a great question, JR. I guess we'll have to tune into Smackdown later this week if we want to find out the answer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Monday Night Raw. I'm that barbecue-loving Jim Ross here at ringside with Jerry the King Lawler. And here comes the Big Show, the largest athlete in the world. That's a 1/4 ton of humanity right there, King.
If you say so, but I'm not convinced that the Big Show's human, JR. He looks like he should be out running around a forest, scaring campers or something.
I wouldn't say that too loud if I were you, King. When you're that big, you don't have to take a lot of baloney from anybody. And here comes the man who is challenged tonight with taking on the Big Show. It's a tall order for sure, but this is going to be one heck of a match. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I know you're pretty high on this guy, and I've got to admit, he does look impressive, but he's got his work cut out for him tonight.
That's for sure. About 7 feet and over 500 pounds of it.
Look at this, JR. He's coming out to the ring by himself tonight. What's happened to his friends Carlito, Chavo, and Daivari? You know, the ones who helped him beat the heck out of the Big Show last week.
Now, you know that's not true. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone with half a brain in their head that he had no idea what those 3 troublemakers had planned last week.
Well, maybe that's obvious to anyone with half a brain, but those of us who have the whole thing know that he and those other jerks are up to something.
I'll tell you, King, I've been hearing rumors of Big Show's mood of late, and let me tell you, they're downright scary.
Everything about the Big Show is scary when he's this angry. How many superstars would accept a 2-on-1 handicap match just to take out their frustrations on somebody?
Not very many, King, but there aren't many superstars like the Big Show either. There's no question that he is a unique and dangerous individual. You know, I used to have some respect for this superstar, but I'm sorry to say that my opinion of him has changed dramatically over the past few weeks.
Like him or not, he knows the value of strength in numbers. When you've got the Big Show mad at you, you'd better find some friends, and quick.
Maybe so, but I wish he'd be a little more discriminating in his choice of friends. Is someone like Daivari the kind of company you really want to keep?
You know, Carlito and Daivari and Chavo have been going on and on about strength in numbers, but Big Show's got some pretty impressive numbers all by himself. 7 feet tall and 500 pounds.
You've got that right, King, and I've got to believe that the Big Show can't wait to get those giant mitts of his on Chavo and Daivari after all the grief they've given the Big Show.
Well, JR, I have to say that I'm still not convinced that his so-called partner isn't still working with Chavo and Daivari behind the scenes. Big Show could be walking right into another trap. I was talking to Carlito backstage, and he said that if he wanted something done right, he'd have to do it himself. That's why he challenged the Big Show to a match here tonight. Imagine that, challenging the Big Show. Now that's cool.
Yeah, to a handicap match with Chavo Guerrero and that no-good turncoat as his partners. A 3-on-1 match? That sure takes some guts. Carlito's quite a man. Big Show's got his work cut out for him, King. He's facing 3 dangerous opponents here tonight.
Now wait a second. I know this is a handicap match, but I'm sure Carlito's planning on keeping the Big Show all to himself. He just wanted his friends to have the best seats in the house.
Give me a break, King. If Carlito sets 1 foot inside the squared circle tonight once the bell rings, I'll eat my damn hat. He's a no-good coward, and you seem to be the only one who can't see that.
You know, I'm glad to see that there's some sense of camaraderie here on Raw, and that Carlito and Chavo are standing up for their friend. That's very cool in my book.
I think your book might be missing a few pages, King. It was Big Show who injured Daivari, and he's not even involved in this match tonight.
Look, JR, Carlito's grieving right now. And I have to say, I think it's pretty tasteless of you to question his motives when he's still so upset about Daivari. Boy, I'll bet he's starting to think that he's backed the wrong horse. Choosing Big Show over Carlito's crew sure has put him in a tough spot tonight.
Well, tough or not, I'm sure he has no regrets about his choice of allies, King. I have to believe that he'd rather back a thoroughbred like the Big Show rather than a bunch of jackasses like Carlito, Chavo, and Daivari. He may take his lumps, but at least he's taken the high road to get there. Well, it's all come down to this. And we're in for what could be the biggest main event in Raw history, King.
I think you're right, JR. For one thing, it's definitely got the biggest superstar in Raw history in it.
And nothing settles a grudge like a good old-fashioned cage match. You can either pin your opponent, make him tap, or escape the cage to win. What a slobber knocker.
And I can't remember the last time anyone was able to do any of that in a match against the Big Show. This is going to be ugly. I can feel it. Well, the only thing I've got to say is, I hope his health insurance is paid up.
And his life insurance, for that matter. Getting into a cage with a Big Show seems like pure suicide, but this man made his bed, and now he's going to have to lie in it.
Well, it's not like he had a choice. Big Show bullied him into this match by throwing his weight around, and that's a lot of weight.
Of course he had a choice, King, and unfortunately for him, he chose to get on the wrong side of the Big Show, and now it's time to pay the piper, and quite frankly, I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't remember the last time I witnessed a match as brutal as what we've just seen here tonight.
This match was almost as ugly as the guy who won it.
Careful what you say, King, or you might wind up in that cage with Big Show next week.
I don't believe it. He did it. He beat the Big Show in a cage match.
And that puts his name on a very short list, King, and whether or not you agree with his methods, when push came to shove, he pulled out all the stops.
Well, just because he won, I don't think he's going to make a habit out of messing with the Big Show. But then, I don't think Big Show's going to look for a rematch either. Not after that match.
These two have the look of a couple of men who just eaten their last meal, been read their last rites, and are waiting for the governor to call. They could be having a case of the limber tail.
I can't believe this is actually happening. This isn't a match. It's an execution. They've been forced into a no disqualification tornado tag team match against two of the toughest superstars on Raw.
I don't think that anyone's going to make me feel sympathetic towards Chavo and Carlito, but if anything could, this would be it.
Look at the Big Show. I talked to him earlier today, and he told me that he was really looking forward to this match. He says he's got big plans for his opponents tonight.
All of the Big Show's plans are big, King. He wanted to get his giant hands on Carlito and Chavo for a long time, and he's just moments away from getting his wish. Well, he's taken his lumps from every other superstar in this match over the past month, but when the smoke cleared, I think he made the smart decision when he chose to side with the Big Show.
Sure, gang up against the little guys. Anyone looks like a tough guy when they've got the Big Show watching their back.
King, why don't you just admit that Carlito's plan of strength in numbers didn't exactly go as planned?
I think the only numbers on Carlito's mind now are 7 feet, 500 pounds of angry Big Show, plus the pound of flesh this man wants as payback. I have a feeling this one's going to be brutal. Oh my gosh, JR! I can't remember the last time I saw something so brutal. I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind who came out ahead here.
I have to agree, King. And after what we've just witnessed, I don't think we'll have to worry about Carlito stirring up trouble around here again for a long time. What a match, and what a way to end Raw. You've got to be kidding me. Carlito and Chavo win. What an upset.
Of course they did. Everyone doubted them, but I knew all along there was something to that strength in numbers thing.
Well, either way, I'd be surprised if those two push their luck any farther. If they know what's good for them, they'll walk out of here with that win tonight and leave it at that. Welcome, everybody, to Monday Night Raw. This is good old JR Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler at ringside, coming to you live here tonight. And, King, you know it's going to be a great show when it starts off with our Raw Divas.
And the only thing better than one Raw Diva is two Raw Divas, JR. It's Mickie James and Candice Michelle in a singles match.
Well, I hope you'll be able to make it through the broadcast, you Royal Romeo.
Oh, don't worry about me, JR. I'm sure I'll be able to keep it going all night long. And I can't wait to see the Raw Divas do what they do best. And I know this capacity crowd can't either.
She did it! Trish Stratus has beaten Lita. Freedom of expression has won out here tonight on Raw.
I'm always in favor of Trish's freedom of expression, and I'm an especially big supporter of freedom of the press. I'd love for her to press that beautiful body up against...
King, for the love of God, stop right there. Let's get back to what the outcome of this match means. With Lita and Angle having suffered a major defeat here tonight, that'll certainly take some of the air out of Stephanie McMahon's tires.
And a second defeat at WrestleMania this Sunday might shed her plan to clean up Raw down for good.
Trish Stratus lost more than just a match here tonight. She's also in danger of losing her freedom of expression.
And we can't let Trish's freedom of expression get taken away, especially freedom of the press. Oh, I'd love for her to press that beautiful body up against...
King, for the love of God, will you stop right there? Let's go back to what the outcome of this match actually means. With Lita and Angle having earned a major victory here tonight, a second victory at WrestleMania might be exactly what Stephanie McMahon needs to succeed in her campaign to clean up Raw. And here we go, King. WrestleMania has featured some huge matches over the years, but this might well be one of the most important of all time.
You got that right. This isn't just about a grudge or a title. It's about freedom of expression here on Raw. If Kurt Angle wins tonight, it's bye-bye puppies. Oh, I can't believe I just said that.
And it's more than that, King. It's goodbye to allowing Raw to give the WWE fans what they want. If Kurt Angle was the real American hero he says he is, he might pay a little more respect to a certain something called the Bill of Rights. This superstar is the only man standing between freedom and censorship here on Raw. A win tonight would shut Stephanie McMahon's campaign down once and for all. But a loss...
Oh man, don't even think about it, JR. I've never been this guy's biggest fan, but I'm hoping and praying that he beats Angle at his own game here tonight. He's got to!
Angle is the master of the ankle lock, and his skill at submission-style wrestling is unparalleled in this business. This man has his work cut out for him, but this is a battle that must be fought and won. I'm afraid it's true, King. It was a hell of a fight, and we knew going in that a match like this favored Kurt Angle. And there's no question in my mind that Raw's going to be a very different type of show from here on out. As bad as I feel for our fans and superstars, I don't think anyone's going to take it worse than you, King.
I don't even want to think about what Raw's going to be like from now on. Stephanie McMahon calls this a cleanup, but all it's doing is making me sick.
It's our job to remain objective, King. But here at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, I fear we may have seen a great injustice served. We may look back at tonight's events as the first victory toward censorship and political correctness here on Raw. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of WWE Raw. This is the old Oklahoma Center Jim Ross here at ringside with my broadcast partner, the King of Memphis, Jerry Lawler, and we're set for some tag team action right here tonight.
You've got that right. Raw's tag team division has been heating up recently, and we're starting off tonight with a match between two teams that both look pretty tough if you ask me.
Last week, Trevor Murdoch displayed for all of us what a tough guy he can be against a superstar who was exhausted after competing in a match. Now we'll see what he can do against the same man when he's fresh.
Don't sell Murdoch short, JR. This guy may be a few sandwiches short of a picnic, but he's got a mean streak a mile wide.
I know this man must be looking forward to facing Trevor Murdoch to prove that he and RVD are legitimate contenders for the tag team titles. But after last week, there must be a desire for some payback in there, too.
Of course there is. You saw what Murdoch did to him. His own partner, Lance Cade, had to actually pull Murdoch off of him. There aren't many superstars who would just let something like that go.
The World Tag Team Champions has shown that there's no level they won't sink in order to wear down their opponents over the past few weeks. And it all comes down to this. If Cade and Murdoch can't pull out a win here tonight, they're going to have to defend their titles at Backlash.
I know you don't like the way they've gone about protecting their titles, JR, but you've got to admit, they've done a number on the challengers, and Cade and Murdoch don't have a scratch on them.
He's taken his lumps from Cade and Murdoch over the past couple of weeks, but it could all pay off here tonight if he and Rob Van Dam beat them and earn a title match at Backlash.
That's a mighty big if, JR. Cade and Murdoch haven't gone easy on him so far, and I'm sure they're not going to let up now. This match is huge.
I have no earthly idea what could be going through the mind of this man, King. A few weeks ago, Rob Van Dam was his tag team partner, and now he's facing him in what is, by all indications, a grudge match here tonight.
I'm still wondering what was going through his mind when he tried to save RVD from that beatdown a couple of weeks ago, JR. If that's the best he's got, I don't blame RVD for walking out on him.
It's no secret that the typically laid-back Rob Van Dam is frustrated, King. But surely walking out on their tag team match last week was not the way to go about dealing with the situation.
Well, everyone knows what RVD's all about, right, JR? He's supposed to be an extreme kind of guy, right? Well, extreme situations call for extreme measures.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Backlash. And speaking of a backlash, how about the backlash Rob Van Dam suffering from these fans as a result of his actions last week? Never in my life have I heard a live crowd turn on RVD like this.
Hey, RVD was just cutting loose an incompetent tag team partner in the only way he knew how. Besides, Rob Van Dam is a hardcore legend, right? For him, kicking a chair into someone's face is probably like sending them a Christmas card or something.
Both superstars have taken a lot of heat from management for not sticking together as a tag team, but I don't think this man was interested in this turning into a hardcore match. If he had his druthers, I think he'd prefer to have remained partners with RVD.
It sounds to me like you might be playing favorites, JR. Listen, RVD has been around for a while, and he's held tag team gold plenty of times. The simple fact of the matter is, this guy just wasn't up to RVD's standards. Period.
All I can say is, thank God that match and hopefully this rivalry is over. Sometimes you forget just how vicious those hardcore matches can be. I don't think anyone really left here a winner tonight.
Boy, you're not kidding, JR. This grudge has got to be settled now. I don't think either one of them could survive another match like that. I'm not sure I could either.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. This is good old JR Jim Ross alongside the world's oldest teenager, Cherry the King Lawler at ringside. And I'm very interested tonight to see how Sheldon Benjamin looks, having just announced his partnership with Shawn Michaels and Gregory Helms.
I expect more big things from Shelton from now on. You can't join a faction with Shawn Michaels and not pick up a thing or two. But let's not forget, Michaels was the leader of the legendary D-Generation X stable back in the day, and they caused nothing but trouble for the superstars of Raw.
The Heartbreak Kid has promised that this is an entirely different group, King. And since Benjamin is coming to the ring alone without backup, I'm inclined to believe him. The Heartbreak Kid feels he has a score to settle here tonight against a man who allegedly attacked his stablemate, Gregory Helms.
Allegedly? Come on, JR. Helms said he saw exactly who did it, and it was all because Helms didn't think he was a good fit for their stable. And after what just happened to him, it looks like he was exactly right.
The facts do seem to be on Gregory Helms' side, but I have to wonder if Michaels isn't making a rash judgment here. It's too bad things have taken such a turn for the worse, because I was really looking forward to seeing this superstar in Shawn Michaels' new stable.
Yeah, but you heard what Michaels said. This isn't DX or Evolution or any of those gangs. There's no place in their group for a thug who jumps people backstage just because he disagrees with them.
Well, keep in mind, all we have are secondhand reports of Gregory Helms' account of the attack. Prudence would indicate that we wait until all the facts are in before judging him.
What the heck are you talking about, JR? Who the heck is Prudence?
I can't say I'm surprised, King, but now that Gregory Helms and Shelton Benjamin are no longer a part of a stable with HBK, I guess they're okay with bringing a little backup to the ring again. So sure enough, here's Benjamin accompanying Helms for this matchup.
I think Helms is just afraid of what his opponent's going to do to him. After all, it was Helms' little white lie that got him into hot water with Shawn Michaels.
Little white lie? He falsely accused a man of assault. He should be afraid of what his opponent has in store for him tonight. This could be a sneak preview of vengeance right here. And will this man accept Shawn Michaels' offer to team up against Michaels' former stablemates, Gregory Helms and Shelton Benjamin?
It's hard to say, JR. I guess it all comes down to who he thinks is most responsible for what happened. Helms and Benjamin for lying to Shawn Michaels, or Michaels for believing it and laying down some sweet chin music.
Well, either way, we hope to find out by the end of this broadcast tonight what this man's plans are for vengeance. The match is over, but the big question remains. What will happen at Vengeance? Here we go, folks. This is Vengeance. And King, is it me, or has Shelton Benjamin and Gregory Helms been absolutely inseparable of late?
Look, JR, if you had a plan to trick Shawn Michaels and it blew up in your face, do you think you'd go anywhere without having someone watch your back? The Heartbreak Kid has been around a long time, and you know he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
I can't argue that, King. Despite the confidence they portray, these two might be sticking together in the name of self-preservation as much as anything else at this point. Shawn Michaels is one of the most legendary and honorable superstars on the entire Raw roster, and he spared no effort to make things right once he realized he had made a mistake.
Yeah, but Michaels is also a hothead, and that's exactly why he made the mistake in the first place. You'd think a superstar with his years of experience would see stuff like that coming by now.
The icon might not have made the wisest decision in the heat of battle, so to speak, but he's more than capable of making up for it here tonight in this steel cage. And if I were Helms and Benjamin, I'd make sure my insurance premiums were paid in full. This man has had quite a month here on Raw, from false accusations to surprise attacks. But he's looking to settle the score here tonight at Vengeance in an unforgiving cage of solid steel.
Yeah, and all three men he's in there with have been in some part responsible for his problems. Don't forget, his own partner, Shawn Michaels, hit him with sweet chin music for no reason.
We've been over that, King. HBK had a legitimate reason. It's just that his attack was misguided. He's apologized, and the apology was accepted. As far as I can tell, that's all in the past. And there you have it. Vengeance has been served.
Yeah, Vengeance got served, and Helms and Benjamin really got served. I don't think they'll be coming back for a second helping.
You said it, King. In fact, after that cage match, they may not be eating solid food for weeks.
Shawn Michaels promised that those two would learn a hard lesson here tonight in the cage, and he was right. Maybe they'll think twice next time they decide to pull the wool over someone's eyes.
I don't believe it. Benjamin and Helms just defeated two of Raw's finest superstars. So much for getting revenge here at Vengeance.
I knew Shawn Michaels and his partner weren't rowing in the same direction, but how could they be, after everything they went through over the last few weeks?
That might have been the reason, King, but I think it could be the fact they fell victim to that steel cage. Regardless of the superstars or the circumstances surrounding a match like this, that steel cage is a great equalizer, and that's exactly what we saw here tonight. Shawn Michaels is one of the most legendary and honorable superstars on the Raw roster, and he spared no effort to make things right once he realized he'd made a mistake.
Yeah, but Michaels is also a hothead, and that's exactly why he made the mistake in the first place. You'd think a superstar with his years of experience would see stuff like that coming by now.
The icon might not have made the wisest decision in the heat of battle, but to his credit, he attempted to make things right. Regardless, this grudge is going to be settled in a steel cage here at Vengeance. This man has had quite the month here on Raw, from false accusations to surprise attacks. But he's looking to settle the score here tonight at Vengeance in an unforgiving cage of solid steel.
Yeah, and I bet he can't wait to get his hands on Shawn Michaels, the man who hit him with that sweet chin music for absolutely no reason.
We've been over that, King. HBK had a legitimate reason. It's just that his attack was misguided. And Michaels made the attempt to apologize, but he wouldn't have any of it. So now it all comes down to a steel cage and a whole lot of pride. And there you have it. Vengeance has been served.
Yeah, Vengeance got served, and Shawn Michaels really got served. I don't think he'll be coming back for a second helping.
He promised the Heartbreak Kid would learn a hard lesson tonight in the cage, and that's exactly what we saw happen. I don't know if either superstar will ever be quite the same after this brutal encounter. So much for getting revenge here at Vengeance. Shawn Michaels took him to the old woodshed in front of the entire world live on pay-per-view.
It doesn't matter how much anger you come into the cage with. If you're hoping to beat a superstar like Shawn Michaels with bad intentions alone, you're in for a disappointment.
Boy, if that isn't the truth, King. And that was such a definitive defeat that I don't see where he goes from here. Shawn Michaels looked like he was the better man tonight across the board. There's nothing left for HBK to prove. Vengeance continues with a match I've been looking forward to all night, King. It's going to be a slobber knocker. A fatal four-way steel cage match. And I wonder if Shelton Benjamin regrets trying to fool Shawn Michaels with that plan Shelton cooked up with that other brain surgeon, Gregory Helms.
Well, if he does, it's not going to do him any good now. That ship has sailed, and their faction is no more, as you can see from this every man for himself cage match.
And I think it's a damn shame, if you ask me. Had things gone differently, all four participants might have been working together here tonight at Vengeance, but clearly that was just not in the cards. I don't mean to let Shelton Benjamin off the hook here, but I'm quite frankly disgusted by the way Gregory Helms lied about an assault and attempted to frame someone for it. I expect better from our Raw superstars.
Oh, get off your high horse, JR. Helms had his reasons. He didn't want Shawn Michaels being distracted by a fourth member in their group. He did it because he wanted to learn from HBK.
Well, I get the feeling he'll be learning plenty from the Heartbreak Kid here tonight inside this solid steel cage. And I don't think he's going to like what's under the learning tree. Shawn Michaels is one of the most legendary and honorable superstars on the Raw roster, and he spared no effort to make things right once he realized he had made a mistake.
Yeah, but Michaels is also a hothead. That's exactly why he made the mistake in the first place. You'd think a superstar with his years of experience would see stuff like that coming by now.
The Icon might not have made the wisest decision in the heat of battle, but to his credit, he attempted to make things right. Regardless, this grudge is going to be settled in a steel cage here at Vengeance. This man has had quite a month here on Raw, from false accusations to surprise attacks. But he's looking to settle the score here tonight at Vengeance in an unforgiving cage of solid steel.
Yeah, and I bet he can't wait to get his hands on Shawn Michaels, the man who hit him with that sweet chin music for absolutely no reason.
We've been over that, King. HBK had a legitimate reason. It's just that his attack was misguided, and Michaels made the attempt to apologize, but he wouldn't have any of it. So now it all comes down to a steel cage and a whole lot of pride. And there you have it. Vengeance has been served.
Yeah, Vengeance got served, and his opponents really got served. I don't think they'll be coming back for a second helping.
He promised that his opponents would learn a hard lesson here tonight in the cage, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know if any of these superstars will ever be quite the same after this brutal encounter. So much for getting revenge here at Vengeance. He lost his chance at payback in front of the entire world live on pay-per-view.
It doesn't matter how much anger you come into the cage with. If you're hoping to beat three other superstars with bad intentions alone, you're in for a disappointment.
Boy, if that isn't the truth, King. And quite frankly, after a match like that, I don't think that any of these men will want anything to do with each other for some time to come. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Raw. This is good old JR Jim Ross here at ringside with Jerry the King Lawler. And King, the sight of Candice Michelle coming down to the ring with Edge must put a smile on your face.
It's always great to see Candice, and I've saved her the best seat in the house. She can manage Edge from right here at the announce table. I know we're short a chair, but that's okay. I'll let her sit on my lap.
That's a generous offer to be sure, King. But I think for the time being, Candice is determined to prove that she can be the advantage that Edge needs to rise to the pinnacle of the Raw roster. And I'd imagine that would involve taking a more direct role in this match than just observing it.
Oh, come on. You don't really think that Candice plans to interfere in this match, do you, JR?
King, I don't know if you read WWE.com today, but this man had some rather interesting things to say about Edge's new valet, Candice.
I always read WWE.com, and I couldn't believe some of the things he said. But you and I know those are probably just good-natured ribs. He's probably just jealous of Edge. I mean, who wouldn't be? Plus, I can't help but notice that there's no diva with him at the ring tonight.
I think that's beside the point, King. If he wants to win this, he's got to focus on Edge rather than Candice Michelle.
That's right. He should focus entirely on Edge. I can focus on Candice enough for the both of us.
King, in all my years in this business, I've seen a great many unexplainable things, but I don't know if I've ever seen anything like what I saw, or at least what I think I saw backstage just a few minutes ago.
Let me see if I've got this straight. Candice just used her wand to turn Edge's opponent from last week into a diva so that she could face him, or is it her, in a singles match.
I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but yes, that seems to be exactly what happened, King. And I know exactly how crazy that sounds.
Well, they're going to have to send us both to the loony bin, JR, because for once, we agree on something.
Absurd, preposterous, ridiculous, surreal. All those words fit, but none quite sum up what we're seeing here. I can't believe this is the same superstar Edge faced last week.
Believe me, I know what you're saying. But if this is some kind of a trick, this girl's done her homework. This is the exact same entrance he always uses. Plus, even though I still don't believe this, I have to admit this superstar is looking better than ever. Candice had better watch out. She could be out-diva'd here.
Well, there's your winner. And King, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this one.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I always love to see beautiful women go at it one-on-one, but if she's really a he?
I think it's best if we don't try to think about this one too hard. We just saw a number of strange events take place, but the one that still has me puzzled is Candice's comment about being a perfect 10.
That's what you're worried about? Not the fact that Edge sounds like he should be coming to work on a flying carpet from now on?
That wand of hers obviously has some kind of power, and Candice must have done something to herself, but what did she do?
I don't know what she needed to do, JR. She already looks like a perfect 10 to me.
You know, I don't think he had any idea that his comments about Candice Michelle would lead to any of this.
How could he? As far as I can tell, everything we're seeing here is completely impossible.
I certainly have no earthly explanation for it. I've seen many a strange thing in my time, but nothing like what we've seen lately. I shudder to think what could come next. By God, I figured it out, King.
Figured what out?
That perfect 10 reference. Candice wasn't talking about her physical appearance. She was talking about her wrestling skills.
You know, I thought she looked a little better than usual out there.
A little? King, she was wrestling better than most WWE champions.
And looking a lot better, too.
Well, I must sound like a broken record by now, but I simply cannot believe what we're seeing backstage. 1 minute, there was no boogeyman, and then there were two.
Yeah, and the boogeyman's a Smackdown superstar. What's he doing on Raw?
King, that is quite honestly the very least of my concerns right now.
I agree. I'm not used to this entrance, and I have to admit, it really creeps me out. Too bad Candice isn't here with her wand.
Did I just hear you right? Did you just say that if Candice and her wand were here, that'd make you feel safer? And here is, hailing from Toronto, Canada, Edge. Well, sort of.
I think it's Edge, JR, but how can we be sure? I mean, is that Edge or another boogeyman? Or was the first boogeyman Edge? How can we tell who's who?
Well, considering that we happen to be talking about Edge and the boogeyman here, it would seem to me that the obvious suggestion would be to compare dental records.
Do you think Edge likes to eat worms?
I can't believe this man hasn't lost his mind yet, King. As crazy as all the recent goings-on have seemed to us, he's been right in the middle of it.
His mind must be completely blown, JR. If he stops to try to make sense out of any of it, he might just lose it. My advice to him would be to go with the flow. That and, well, I never thought I'd say this, stay the heck away from Candice Michelle. Hey, now I sound crazy.
King, this must be one of the strangest matches we've ever had at SummerSlam. And considering how he got to this point, that should come as no surprise.
A ladder match for Candice Michelle's magic wand? I suppose whoever gets it won't have to worry about any more strange transformations.
And I have to wonder if Edge has any intention of sharing that wand with Candice if he wins this match.
As much as I'd like to be close to Candice Michelle, I'm not sure that being turned into the boogeyman and talking like Daivari is worth the price. If I was Edge, either the wand goes or I go.
This match may be his best chance to get that wand away from Candice and return things to normal around here. And not a minute too soon, if you ask me.
Yeah, but he's got to beat Edge to do it. And Edge is just about the last guy you want to have to face in a ladder match.
You're right about that, King. This is the kind of match that Edge built his professional career on. This won't be an easy victory for either man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm the old Oklahoma Center Jim Ross here with my partner Jerry the King Lawler. And here comes the man who thinks he's going to be one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions in just over 4 weeks at Unforgiven, the masterpiece, Chris Masters.
It's not a matter of Chris Masters thinking he's going to be half of the Tag Team Champions, JR. Look at the confidence. He knows it. Man, this guy gets to team up with Chris Masters again? Imagine that. 2 weeks in a row, he gets a physical specimen like the Masterpiece as his partner. How lucky is that?
I'm not sure I'd exactly call that lucky, King. Quite frankly, I'm starting to wonder if he might have done something to get on Shane McMahon's bad side.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about, JR? If he just keeps his mouth shut and does what the Masterpiece tells him, he's going to be Tag Team Champion. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Boy, you talk about a superstar who's got his work cut out for him. He's about to face the nearly 7-foot, 300-pound monster, Kane.
Yeah, and unlike his upcoming match against him at Unforgiven, he doesn't have the Masterpiece backing him up here tonight.
It sounds like you've taken a long, tall drink of Master's Kool-Aid, King. To hear the Masterpiece talk, you'd think he didn't even have a tag team partner. That's not a recipe for a healthy partnership, if you ask me. It's no mystery how Kane got to be one half of the Tag Team Champions. The team of Kane and Snitsky must be one of the largest and most aggressive championship teams in WWE history.
Yeah, and don't forget ugliest. It's really saying something when Kane is the good-looking half of the team.
You're a braver man than I am to say something like that on the air, King. I just hope to goodness Kane didn't hear you, or I might have to finish the rest of this broadcast by myself. Well, here he is, the one-man tag team, Chris Masters.
Oh, come on now, JR. Don't start in on the Masterpiece again. You're looking at a tag team legend in his own time.
A legend in his own mind is more like it. I thought I'd seen some narcissistic individuals in this business, but Masters takes the cake. But nonetheless, all he and his partner have to do is win this #1 contender match tonight, and they'll get their title match at Unforgiven. I'm a little mystified as to how this man is able to put up with Masters' act week in and week out, but I guess that's the price he's willing to pay for an opportunity to win the tag team titles.
You know, JR, I almost never say this, but you're right. All he's got to do is follow the Masterpiece's lead, and he's coming home from Unforgiven with a tag team title.
Oh, stop. It's clear to me that he's been doing more than following Masters' lead, whether the so-called Masterpiece wants to give him credit or not. Well, it looks as if Kane and Snitsky won't be putting their titles on the line this Sunday after all.
The Masterpiece did his best, but even he wasn't good enough to overcome a lousy partner.
You can't tell me that Masters bears no responsibility for this loss, King. Tag teams win or lose as a team. And maybe if Masters had a better sense of teamwork, we would have seen a different outcome here tonight. They did it! They did it! We've got new tag team champions!
What do you mean they did it? The Masterpiece did it! And he was nice enough to bring his partner along for the ride.
King, there's not a man in the world who could beat Kane and Snitsky single-handed. Masters had a lot of help, whether he wants to admit it or not. This is a great victory for both of those superstars and an unforgiven they surely won't ever forget. Kane and Snitsky have retained the tag team titles. I can't say I'm surprised. I can't think of too many teams who would stand up against those two monsters.
The Masterpiece did his best, but even he wasn't good enough to overcome Kane and Snitsky and a lousy partner. That's just not fair.
Oh, enough about the Masterpiece already. Tag teams win or lose as a team. And maybe if Masters had a better sense of teamwork, he would have had a different outcome here tonight at Unforgiven. Chris Masters comes in here tonight holding a grudge against his former partner. And I never thought I'd say it, but for once, I can't blame him, King. This one's going to be bowling shoe ugly.
I sure as heck wouldn't want the Masterpiece mad at me. You saw what he did to Kane and Snitsky last week.
Yeah, he picked up the luckiest win in the world by falling to his knees and blubbering like a baby with a dirty diaper. And I don't think that's a strategy that's going to work here tonight. I can't say that I approve of the way he abandoned his partner on Raw, but I certainly understand his ongoing frustrations with Chris Masters.
Of course you do. You're both jealous of the Masterpiece, and I don't blame you. Neither one of you will ever be half of what Chris Masters is.
Well, if that means I'll never be half the pompous ass Chris Masters is, I suppose I should count myself lucky. My God, what a brutal match. It was a slobber knocker. I hope he feels he's earned some measure of vindication, because I'd hate to see them go through something like that again.
It's a terrible thing when jealousy gets out of control like that. How could he destroy a piece of art like the Masterpiece the way he did?
Well, I'll tell you what, King. If the Mona Lisa was half as obnoxious as this masterpiece, they'd have torched her years ago. Well, despite his arrogant behavior of late, you've got to give it to Masters. He came out here and did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, he beat another jealous wannabe, and at the same time, he taught his ungrateful former partner a lesson that he'll never forget.
Let's hope so, King. There are some lessons you don't want to have to learn twice, and this would certainly seem to be one of them. I'll tell you one thing, King. I'm glad that there's at least one superstar who's willing to stand up for what's right around here.
Look, I'm sure we're all sad about what happened to Mick Foley, but I still don't see why it's any of his business.
It's the business of everyone who has any respect for the history of this company, King, and I admire him for lacing up his boots and doing something about it. And here come two men who I hope get exactly what they deserve here tonight. Legends or not, there's no justification for last week's assault.
I don't think these guys care about justifying anything, JR. And math was never my strongest subject in school, but it looks to me like they've got the numbers on their side tonight.
I've got to say, King, the rowdy one doesn't look so tough without Bam Bam Bigelow at his side. And after his actions the past few weeks, I'm amazed he had the guts to come out here by himself.
Oh, don't worry about Piper, JR. He's plenty tough, all right, believe me. It never hurts to have backup, but if there's one man who doesn't need it, it's Rowdy Roddy Piper.
This match tonight should settle the score with Rowdy Roddy Piper, and it just seems a little more special knowing that Mick Foley is sitting front and center here on Raw to see it in person.
Yeah, that's right. I saw Mick Foley coming in earlier tonight, hobbling in on crutches, escorted by an usher. How embarrassing. He should have just stayed home.
And missed the chance to see this superstar tear the man apart who left him in that condition? I don't think so, King. I've got to say, in all my years in this business, this might be the single biggest match I've ever called. And King, I don't think I even have to ask who you're pulling for in this match.
What's that supposed to mean, JR? Are you suggesting that just because I'm an all-time legend in my own right, that means I'm automatically going to root for old school versus new school?
Boy, you figured me out, King. Not only are you a legend in your own time, but you're a legend in your own mind, too. It goes without saying that the champion may well be in for the fight of his life here tonight in this title match.
If it goes without saying, then why'd you say it? We all know he's going up against someone who's no stranger to championship gold, someone who's one of the greatest superstars of all time.
Well, certainly one of the greatest of his era.
Listen to yourself, JR. You and the champion are both about to learn tonight that, like fine wine, some things only improve with age. Oh my gosh, I don't believe it. I told you old school was better than new school. We've got a new champion.
I don't know if I'd refer to him as a new anything, King. Plus, it's not as if he's never held a world title before.
You're right about that, but think about it. To return to WWE after such a long hiatus and recapture a title, that's simply incredible. Hey, do you think he'll give me a title defense at WrestleMania?
Now that's what you call one for the books. The champion has retained his title in a great clash of old versus new, of classic versus contemporary.
I can't believe some of the things he did in there. That's no way to treat a legend. Talk about having no respect.
I couldn't disagree more, King. I think the champion showed an enormous amount of respect for his challenger. Neither one went easy on the other. I don't think they would have had it any other way.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree about that one, JR. But whether he respects the legends or not, I'll give him credit where it's due. He just beat one of the most respected superstars in WWE history.
King, I cannot believe what we're seeing here. The man who kidnapped Mr. McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, is walking down to the ring that Mr. McMahon owns.
I used to think that Mr. McMahon had some grapefruits, but this guy makes them look like raisins.
Fruits and vegetables aside, I've got to believe that this man has something a little extra up his sleeve tonight. Why else would he give himself up like this? It just doesn't make any sense. And if he's here, where is Stephanie McMahon?
You expect him to make sense? Don't be ridiculous, JR. Nothing he does makes sense, especially kidnapping Vince McMahon's daughter.
And here come Mr. McMahon's hand-picked enforcers, two of the greatest superstars ever to set foot in a WWE ring. And they proved that just a few weeks ago in a championship bout.
That's right, JR. The last time we saw these guys, they weren't exactly friendly. But you know what they say about the enemy of my enemy? Or at least the enemy of Mr. McMahon's enemy. He's your friend.
Well, with Stephanie still missing, I'm sure that Mr. McMahon has these two superstars in the same library tonight, if not exactly on the same page. Well, here's the last superstar I'd ever have expected to see in the arena tonight. I have to say it, there's no way I'll ever condone the actions of this man. But you've got to give him credit for having the guts to show up like he promised, especially after everything he's done to Mr. McMahon.
There's a fine line between guts and stupidity, JR, and this guy's crossed it a long time ago.
That's probably true, King, but the big question on my mind is, if he's here, then where the hell is Piper? And more importantly, just where is the real victim in all of this, Stephanie McMahon?
Well, it's obvious to me that he was too chicken to face Mr. McMahon face to face, and who can blame him? I wouldn't be anywhere in the same state as Mr. McMahon if I were him right now.
I know this man is an all-time great WWE legend and can take care of himself, but I've got to wonder about Mr. McMahon's decision to send him out here without any backup. After all, the champion has already beaten him once, and this is a no disqualification match.
Yeah, but with poor Stephanie still missing, the stakes are high now. Even higher than a championship. And I never thought I'd say that. Plus, like you said, JR, we're still talking about one of the greatest WWE superstars ever here.